Hello everybody, how you doing today? I just realized I was recording for 10 minutes and my recorder wasn't on. So anyway, welcome. Today I was in the mood to talk about finances. I want to talk about credit card debt, I mean, credit cards, a lot of people believe that credit cards, you know, they make your life better. They make you able to afford things. It's easy to pay for things with a credit card. But really, those credit cards lower your standard of living. They really do. And I know this all too well because a long time ago I had between $6,000 and $8,000 a month in credit card debt, and I got out from under it by myself, but it was not easy. I had become complacent. I was making the minimum payment, and then every once in a while I'd go, oh, I should pay an extra $20 or $40 so I could get out from under this. By then it was like, I had to get aggressive. So I started finding and figuring out ways to make big payments. And I was paying between $300 and $400 a month on my Visa. And it was painful. I couldn't do things. I couldn't go out. It was hard to eat out. I didn't have enough money to buy things that I wanted because I was paying for something I bought far in the past. Yet I was going to be paying for it far into the future. And that's what I mean by lowering your standard of living. So you're tied down to that debt and you can't live and breathe until it's gone. So I encourage you, don't use that Visa card if you don't really have to. Don't make it your regular way of, you have to be very disciplined. If, let's say you have one of those credit cards where you get points. I've never had one of those. So I don't know that much about them, but I've known people who've had them. They get points and then they pay it off at the end of every month. But I'm like, do they really? Do they always pay it off at the end of every month? Or do they kind of get into a problem area once in a while? So I just have one credit card. I pay it off that month. That's it. If I can't, I don't use it. Now, one example is I want a new TV. And the TV I have is kind of small. The sound of it on it is kind of muffled. And I really want a new TV. And I'm so tempted to just run out there and buy one. I could just put it on my Visa, right? No. I'm going to set the money aside as I save it up. I'm going to shop for deals, and then I'm going to pay cash for my TV. And that's it. Done. No drama, no being tied to a payment for the next 6 months to enjoy my TV. It's done. And my money that I have is mine. So then some people say, well, you got to have a credit card for emergencies. Well, I do believe that too. I mean, I can't possibly address every single scenario. There's going to be a scenario where you might have to use your credit card for an emergency. Say you're traveling and something happens to your car. I get that. That happens. But I do have a belief that everyone should have an emergency fund. And that means $1,000 minimum a month into a savings account that is for an emergency fund. Now, really, that was the recommended amount like years ago. I think now it should probably be like $2,000 a month. But with that said, you can set that amount of what you think it should be, but at a minimum, probably $2,000. Now, I personally believe that you should have 6 months of living expenses in a savings account for an emergency fund. It's not a fund that you dip into to like buy a couch or a coffee table or a refrigerator. Well, that could end up qualifying as an emergency fund if your refrigerator goes out. Okay, that's different. But it's not to be dipped in for wants. It's only for needs, for emergencies. Um, let's see. There's a lot of different ways too that you can fund that emergency account. You know, one is you can have a certain amount taken out of your paycheck every 2 weeks and automatically put into a savings account that is for your emergency fund. Or you can just manually make that deposit yourself. You can free up money by cutting back on other things like your groceries. Let's say your utility bill was $50 lower. We'll take that $50 and throw it into your emergency fund savings. You know, really try to free that money up in some of your already daily living expenses to save it and set it aside. Another way is you can sell things. I do that a lot. I have a lot of junk and I sell a lot of junk. Also, you can have a huge garage sale and just bang it all out in one weekend. Just, you know, you could easily make, you know, $600 to $1,000 on a yard sale in a weekend, or maybe more, depending on how much stuff you have. So really, I guess my message today to you all is to just think about what you're doing and don't fall into the trap of thinking that a credit card is the way to go, that it's the way to pay for things on a regular basis, that it's a way to get more out of your life, because it's not. It robs you of your life. So less credit card charges or usage and more money in your emergency fund. Those are my two main messages for you today, and I hope I have encouraged you in some way to do those two things. So anyway, until I talk to you next time, have a great day. Bye now.